Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. In this video we will discuss the merits or qualities or characteristics of a tragic hero described by Aristotle in the Poetics. Talking about tragic hero in the Poetics, Aristotle says a tragic hero must be ethically good. That as we talk about manners, as we talk about ethics, as we talk about the high moral grounds, the tragic hero must be on high moral grounds. Any tragic hero who is not following the moral grounds or not standing on high moral grounds, he will not be able to attract the attention of the audience or to leave an everlasting impact on the minds of the audience. So, first of all, he must be on high moral grounds. Second is that if there are some demerits in a hero, in a tragic hero, so the demerits of a hero will not be able to qualify him as a tragic hero. So, once a hero is not qualified as a tragic hero, according to Aristotle, uh, the audience will not be in a position to appreciate that tragic hero, according to Aristotle. So we can say that with the passage of time, the situation has been changed. So what Aristotle said, we are discussing only the merits of a tragic hero as described by Aristotle. Nowadays, you can see many tragic heroes that they are completely opposite to the points mentioned by or to the merits mentioned by Aristotle, but still they attract attention of the audience at a greater pace. And a tragic hero must not be completely good. So while talking about it, he should be ethically good, he should be not having any demerits, but a tragic hero cannot be a completely good person. A complete good person means the one who is beyond any mistakes, a person who cannot commit any mistake, who does not have any demerit in his personality, whose judgment is always accurate, and this only happens to the angels. As far as the human beings are concerned, to err is human and to forgive is divine. So, if we say, because while performing a drama on stage, Aristotle believed that it is up to the writer and up to the director of a stage that how he manages his characters. So it is up to the writer that he makes his tragic hero a completely good, a completely bad, a partial good, a partial bad. So it is up to the writer. Now Aristotle is saying that if a hero is performing on the stage and he is not having any demerit, he is a completely good person, his judgment is always accurate, then he will be considered as a supernatural human being. Supernatural means that above the human beings, like the one who never commits any mistakes, and this will ultimately not leave an everlasting impact on the minds of the audience, because once we believe that something is beyond human approach, something is above humanity, something is above humans, then definitely we do not consider that particular person or a hero as someone from the humans. So he must be according to the humans. As human living in the world, they make mistakes, they commit mistakes, they rectify themselves, they correct themselves. So same is the case with the tragic hero. So there must not be an element of complete having all the merits and without having any demerit in a tragic hero. And he must be of a noble character also. Definitely a tragic hero must be, when we say that he should be ethically good, it means that he must be from a noble background, from a noble character, have a noble character. Then we have tragic hero must be appropriate. Appropriate means that he must be, as the story moves on, the tragic hero must behave appropriately like a human. For example, if a man is driving a car and suddenly an animal comes on the road, so what happens? What would be the appropriateness of human being to apply the brakes or to try his level best to save the animal as well as the car? So this is what a human can do. There may be a failure of brakes, there may be a late in applying brakes, so there can be an accident. That is another story. But the thing is that what the humans they have done, if a human, as I gave you an example, then it is called appropriateness. So tragic hero must be appropriate, like he must do everything in accordance with the standard rules of standard patterns, that what should be done in a situation, in a particular situation, the tragic hero must do the same, not any abnormal attitude or not having any supernatural techniques to apply by the tragic hero. So they should be appropriate according to the situation. And the class he belongs, he should behave to the class he belongs. Class here means that to which class he belongs, that the kingship or the elite class, because in when we read that old or ancient dramas or stories, we find out that the heroes and the heroines, they were all from the monarchs, kings, queens, princes. So the common men, they were not included to be discussed, to be performed on the stage. So all the time, these were the kings and the queens, those who were given the high place uh, to be performed on the stage by the actors. So he must, if he is belonging to a kingship class, he must behave like a king. If he is from an elite class, a very rich class, he must behave like a rich. He, if the hero is an army chief, taken by the writer, then he must behave like an army chief. So there must not be any contradiction between the character given to the hero, and it should not be, in simple words you can say, it must not be away from the human thinking, or away from or beyond from human approach. Like if a normal human being is occupying a position like an army chief or a king or a princess or a queen, so the character who is performing the class, he must perform according to the class which he belongs. Like if he is a king, he has to behave like a king. He has to perform like a king. There must not be any element of his self in that. Then we have classification of the characters and true to the type. Again, noble, true to the type. Again, we talk about to the class, that whatever the character is, whatever the character has been performed by the tragic hero, it should be according to the class where he belongs. And then we have again the same thing, that he must be flawed, that he the tragic hero must commit a mistake. Must commit a mistake doesn't mean that he should intentionally commit a mistake. It means that there must be an error of judgment. Like a man, according to him, he is doing everything, uh, everything, he's doing everything well, he's performing everything well. He believes that whatever he is doing, it is appropriate, it is accurate. There is no need to be having any backlash in any situation. The tragic hero, he is doing everything good, but there comes an error of judgment, and that actually determines the fall of the protagonist or the hero. Like in simple words you can say that downfall of a hero by his own act means by his own error of judgment. Like we watch a movie sometimes, that there is a villain and there is a hero. So villain uses his techniques to disgrace the hero, or to destroy the hero, or to damage him, and hero uses his own techniques. Now when a protagonist is using his techniques to overcome the situation or to overcome his enemies, while applying those techniques, there may be an error of judgment. There may be a mistake, unknowing, unintentional mistake committed by the protagonist. Like if he is making technically, if he is making every technique according to the situation, and he believes that whatever he is doing, there must not be any backlash in it, or there will not be any point to that needs to be rectified. But ultimately what happens with the passage of time, it opens up to the hero that he had committed a big mistake unknowingly. And again, catharsis, when we have these qualities, if a tragic hero, according to Aristotle, he says that if he is noble, if he is ethically good, if he is true to type, if he is belonging to the same class and he represents the same class, if he is on high moral grounds, uh, uh, and also he is having an error of judgment, then all these characteristics, when they are combined in the personality of tragic hero, then it ultimately leaves an impact on the mind of the audience, which arouse the feelings of pity and fear, that the audience, they become sympathetic with the hero. And any drama or any story or any stage performed drama cannot be declared as a well written or well performed unless and until the audience who has watched it, they have a sympathy for the hero. So to have sympathy for the hero, these are the characteristics that have been mentioned by the Aristotle. Then we talk about a suffer a reversal of fortune. Like everything is going good, and suddenly what happens, that the situation changes in a way that leads to the death of the protagonist. Uh, you can say, for example, not for example, but exactly what Aristotle wrote, the qualities of tragic hero, they are quite similar to Oedipus Rex. There is an error of judgment in Oedipus Rex. He belongs to the noble class, like he was son of the monarchs and he again became a king, but unintentionally he married to his own mother, which was the biggest crime, which is currently the biggest crime in this era also, but at that time definitely marrying his own mother was the biggest crime. So unintentionally, he never knew it that he is going to marry his own mother, but unintentionally he married. And the reversal of situation was that when the man came and he recognizes that he is the same Oedipus Rex who was thrown on a mountain, putting rod in his ankles. So that was the reversal of the situation, that everything was going good, something good was expected from the person, but what the reality he told, uh, after that the situation was completely reversed, that he blinds himself, his mother and wife, she commits suicide, and everything was over, a complete tragic end. So Aristotle believes that such type of heroes, such type of stories, they have an everlasting impact, or they arouse the feelings of pity and fear in audience, that actually makes the tragic hero more strong and more acceptable by the audience, and must be pathetic, as I told you about Oedipus Rex. And if it is pathetic, the audience always think about why this audience always becomes sympathetic with the protagonist, because when the audience is watching a drama or uh, stage drama they are watching, every man or woman sitting there, they start putting themselves in different characters. Like if I'm watching a movie and the hero is you know, doing everything good, then I will start putting myself in the place of hero, that if I were on his place, what could have been my dimensions, what could have been my directions to do the activity which the protagonist is performing. So when they put themselves, if you put yourself in the place of Oedipus Rex, and when it comes to the end of the play, definitely the feelings of pity and fear they arouse, because the end is very tragic. So everyone who reads the play, when they think that if I were the audience, anyone from the audience, if they think that if I were in the place of Oedipus Rex, what could have been my condition, what could have been my situation in such a scenario where you have married your own mother, and you have killed your own father. So that is the actual point which leaves which puts an impact or which actually arouses feelings of pity and fear that we call catharsis. Tragic hero is dead at the end or suffer a big punishment. So, according to Aristotle, a tragic hero must die at the end. If the tragic hero doesn't die, then his punishment must be very, very big. And again, I repeat the example of Oedipus Rex, that he blinds himself. So, blinding yourself is not an easy task, it's more worse than death. So something very, very tragic must happen to the protagonist. Uh, Aristotle says. Although we can have, nowadays we can watch many movies there nothing happens to the hero, but again, the movie is super hit. The audience likes it. There is feelings of pity and fear and everything. But in actual sense, Aristotle believes that the protagonist or the hero must die at the end, or he must suffer a big punishment. Then we have whatever the points we have discussed above. If we summarize it, so tragic hero strictly as a man of noble birth with heroic qualities. Noble birth means to have birth in a big family, a rich or a king's family. So qualities whose fortune changed due to a tragic flaw or mistake. That everything, he's been blessed with everything, the money, the power, everything. But what happens that due to his own unintentional mistake, uh, uh, often emerging from the characteristics own heroic qualities. What are the heroic qualities? The adventure qualities, that you want to do something, you start thinking out of the box. And the example from Oedipus Rex, that when he kills his own father unintentionally, that was the heroic quality, that he had the qualities to fight with the men, and he had the qualities to kill many men. So he used his own quality, but the result was very pathetic when he came to know that he had killed his own father. So uh, he having, due to tragic flaw or mistake, that ultimately brings about the tragic hero's terrible excessive downfall. So terrible excessive downfall means that he killed his father. He enters into a city where he's been accepted as the king of the city, and he marries his own mother. So it was his own mistake, that he unknowingly, he is not committing the mistake knowingly, but his there is like you are making a policy, like there are for example, that in, if we talk about the old days, ancient times, that the two armies, they are in front of each other for a war in a battlefield. What happens, both the generals, they make their own plans and they make their own strategies. So what the strategies the generals are making, that strategy must be accurate to them. That is why they are following that strategy. I mean, a general who wants his army to win, how can he make a wrong strategy? The strategy is made good. The act performed by the person who is leading the character, who is having the leading character, he performs actually good. He makes every strategy very accurate according to his own mind. But the strategy has a reversal situation, or it fails, and the history is full of such incidents. So a tragic hero must be a heroic, having heroic qualities, having a tragic flaw, and that ultimately brings the tragic hero's terrible excessive downfall. In simple words, we can say that whatever is the qualities of Oedipus Rex were, they are all the qualities have been endorsed by Aristotle, accepted by Aristotle. Uh, like a tragic hero born in a noble family, there was a curse that he would kill his own father and marry his own mother. They put through him. They put him on a mountain, putting rod in his ankles that he cannot walk or he may die somewhere. But he was saved by a shepherd. Then, going somewhere when he became adult, he killed his own father unknowingly. Then he married his own mother unknowingly. And that was the end of the play, when the man comes and he realizes, that was the, you can say, the recognition of a character also. That was the point where a character actually recognizes himself, that if he is believing, like putting Oedipus Rex, if you put yourself in the place of Oedipus Rex, that till the reality was exposed before him, he I mean, he was a successful person. As a person, he was, from where he came, he killed a man, he became the king, everything was granted to him. So he was a successful man, but ultimately, when he realized the situation, what was the facts that were unknown to him, then it actually destroyed everything. So these are the qualities of uh, hero, tragic hero, as described by Aristotle in his book The Poetics.